If you're using Google Analytics without Data Studio, you need to stop now and fix it. My name is Tanya Zepkina, and I've been working in marketing analytics for over 15 years. In this video, I will show you how to create your own amazing dashboard for your website using Google Data Studio. And I will even share my own template with you. You will be able to customize your reports and see what an amazing product Google Data Studio is. Keep on watching. Let's start with Google Data Studio. I have my test account in here, and I have given it an access to my own website's Google Analytics data. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type datastudio.google.com, and that's it. So this is what you get when you first log on into Google Data Studio. And this is a place where you can create dashboards and reports based on any data, not just Google Analytics data. This is similar to Tableau, if you've ever used that, because it sits on top of a database and it's a reporting environment. It's where you can create tables and charts based on the underlying data. So let's get started. We're going to click on blank report in here. Let's just create a report. And our environment is asking us to add data. And this is the type of data that you can use with Data Studio. There's a lot of data sources. But Google Analytics is number one, and for a reason. We're going to choose our data. Okay, it's going to appear as all website data. Add to report. That's it. We have connected our data and we have our first table in the report. If you have gotten to this point in this presentation, you're going to be able to do your own report from here. Now let's go over the parts of the Data Studio report. First of all, there is a report itself, and report has report settings. And the settings are, of course, a data source. Now we've added this data source to this table, but not the report itself. What I can go in here and I can see added data sources. So this report has this one data source added, and I can add it in here. The other option that it has is the date range, and there's an auto date range and there's a custom date range, and that applies as a default to the whole report, to every new table that you add. In every table, however, you can change the default into something else. There's also a filter. So a filter allows you to filter the whole report for something. For example, you can have a report on organic search traffic only, and that would just limit the whole report to that. Another thing that it has, and it's not populating right now because I do not have custom analysis segments, is the Google Analysis segment. So Google Analysis segments is something that you can create in Google Analytics under the administration panel. It's right here in the administration panel. In the view, you can click on personal tools and assets and create a segment which would be accessible from your Data Studio. Isn't that amazing? So now let's go to the current page settings. So report consists of pages, and you can add another page over here. Let's add another page. There's a second page. Now we can switch between pages 1 and 2 in here, and we can rename it right here. So in the current page settings, again, we have the default data source, we have the date range, we have the filter, and we have the segment. The segments stop running, so we can click on here. There are preset segments in here. You can do organic traffic as a segment or as a filter, depending on how you want to do it. You have 3 types of things that you can add. Number 1 is the chart. See in here, add a chart, and there's all sorts of different types of charts. And once you've added the chart, let's say you have this table and you want to change it, you click on it, and on the right side, right here, you have this menu where you can potentially change settings, new users, page views, broken down by something. You can do this. This is my website data. Do this. And under this menu of chart, you have the data. Let's talk about the data. The data consists of, on the left side, there's a data source, and you can add another data source, join it in, and blend the data if you want to. That's an advanced option. You have dimensions and metrics, and you can see that dimensions are kind of in green and metrics are in blue. Blue are things that are numeric, things that you can sum up, average into things with them. These are your metrics. Users, sessions, page views, bounce rates, things like that. And then dimensions are categorical breakdowns. In this particular case, it's page title, but it could be a country, it could be channel, or any of the green ones in here. Down here, again, we have the default date range. We have a filter option for that particular table. So for example, I can have a breakdown of countries for one channel versus the other and have them side by side. Very helpful if you want to do breakdowns for certain pages. You can have a breakdown of channels for one page and then for another next to each other in the same report. In Data Studio, you can have these charts side by side. And again, you have a segment, and there's minor options like how you want to sort things and how many, for tables, how many rows you want to show. So that's our charts. The next one is controls. Controls are things that you kind of can change in the view right here, right in the upper corner. When you look at the report, you can change the dates of the report. They control the data in your charts. And most of them apply for the whole page, but sometimes they would apply to a particular chart. And other than that, you have your design elements. And design elements are text, images, lines, rectangles or circles. But you also have the themes over here, where you can go through and change overall colors. And on top of that, let's add a rectangle in here. You have all of the options associated with the style for that. And then let's add some text in here. You have all of the options associated with the text itself. Now let's go from edit mode into the view mode. That's how it's going to look like. In the view mode, one of the best options that you can choose is this. You can download data for any table or chart onto your computer. And that is great because that is an additional analytical option that you can use for further analysis. Some of that data in Google Analytics is a little bit tricky to produce, but you can produce it here, download it, do additional analysis with it. Now there's something missing in here. There's something that you don't know about this chart, and that is what kind of period of time does it cover? We've seen the default date range, but we've never seen what it was, right? So when you create a default report, it doesn't tell you what dates are. And so the number one thing that you need to remember is add a control date range control. And then you click on it over here. Unfortunately, same thing happens here. It doesn't tell you what the dates are. Go back to edit, go into here, and then click and say, I want to have quarter to date. Yeah, so if you go into this setting and choose your date range, then you're going to see that the dates appear. And now when you view, guess what? You know the date range. You have to know the date range. Otherwise, it's not very helpful to have the report at all. So another basic of good reporting is that you may want to look at your numbers in comparison. Right now, you can kind of see what the number one page is, but it's not really clear if that's good or bad or what's going on with these pages over time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this chart and I'm going to change it into this, into the line chart, which makes it even more confusing. But I am going to take out the page title. And so this is since the beginning of the year, this is the new users. And right here, I can add a comparison date range. And here, I can do previous period, I can do previous year, or some other option. I prefer either previous period, which is the same number of days, but prior to our shown period. And previous year is always good. So now you can tell that the new users traffic has grown. So you've created the report, you've saved it. Just click on here, just like any other Google product. Sample report. And how do you share it? There's a lot of share options. And this is another great thing about Data Studio. You can download the report as PDF. You can get the report link and share it with somebody, or invite people to view it. You can share it with somebody in your organization, somebody who has access to the data. I also would like to show you that in here, you need to add sharing options. You can tweak that with the sharing. You can also do email, where basically a snapshot of the report, a picture, would be shared with people on a certain date, and you can schedule it. And download as PDF is a great option, because this way you don't have to give people access to the report or the data. You can just download the report and email it. But the best one is you can take a template from anybody on the internet that created a report for Google Analytics, including me, and you can apply to your own data. You just can put on top of your data, and it's going to work because Google Analytics is fairly standardized. So now I'm going to share with you this report as a template. And I have my link over here. So I'll go into another account, and I'm just putting the link in here. This is a dashboard template, and right now it's using sample data. What you can do is you can make a copy of that particular template into your Data Studio, and it says sample Google Analytics data. So to get your own data into this report, you just click here. I am not seeing my Google data, that's fine. Create a data source. Google Analytics, choose your view, you click connect, and then the magic happens. To report. There it is, a copy of my own dashboard for you with your own website data. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope you found it helpful.